Welcome back to my part 2 of Troubleshooter, Abandoned Children. So that mission took literally an hour to make. It was 54 minutes to the dot, but holy shit. We finally did it. Of course, there was a lot of casualties, but if you, enjoyed kind of that game, I should tell you about kind of the next 30 minutes of just kind of the other half of this game. So early on, you come to this guy named Don, and there's some dialogue, and you get an office, and kind of you're running a business here. And from there, you recruit new characters, and they all have different abilities. Right now, I have 5. I'm pretty sure you get more. So there's a lot of shit to hear. There's a lot of crap here. So we have levels. We have payday. So after these are based on successful missions. So after 6 successful missions, wait, hold on. What is it? Yeah, after 7 successful missions, you pay him 50 or 70, or 15, you pay him 150. So it's just like, yeah, it's not really a problem since money's pretty easy. Then you have your class. So there's basic classes and advanced classes. Basic classes are something like gunman. Hexing is a gunman, but now that he's level 10 gunman, I can now change him to be a sweeper, which gives him access to these new abilities that do more damage. Different abilities. Then access to kind of Masteries under the sweeper attack, or I can make him a ranger, which kind of this stuff. And then you can see the stats changing. So let's see, so if I go a sweeper, I gain 2 attack power and 50% chance to crit damage, and then my defenses go up. But if I go a ranger, physical resistance, just kind of a more general upgrade. Attack power is like your physical damage, while your ESP is your kind of magic damage. So this guy is clearly just all physical damage. So his main thing is the gun, compared to something like Alibus, who is kind of like a hybrid type of thing, where you can change his class to be he starts off as a swordsman. His main weapon is a sword. He also can change to a magic knight or a swordsman, a great swordsman. So a magic knight will focus more on abilities, but kind of like a mixed bag. So I gain a lot more ESP, but I lose a bunch of attack. Or if I go just great swordsman, so we can have basic here. Great swordsman focuses more on basic attacks. So I have these melee attacks that affect, hey, your attack power plus, that. It's mainly your abilities are focused on. It's kind of like magic versus physical damage. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you ever played an RPG, Divinity Original Sin is very similar to this, of just like, magic versus physical. There's some classes like Sion who are both kind of like hey, they're both magic. But yeah, this guy is like this guy is pretty much a black mage. So just doing in like a lot of damage. There's also elements throughout the world. There's earth, wind, fire, air, ice, and water. My characters right now, the characters I have are wind, lightning, fire, and earth. And each class has their own different, which is more earthy, I think. And of course, hexing does not have any affiliation to anything. So Irene. What that means is you will also, your fire spells do more. You also are resistant to fire, lightning, and wind a little bit better. But you also have access to the Masteries, which again, I said in the previous videos, is just a kind of like, it's passives is what it is. So that's kind of the bulk of this game, is the Masteries. So right here is our mastery system. So throughout my previous video, you will see these pop up. And so what that does are these just passives. Sometimes they just do, hey, leaping and landing are not restricted by mobility. So throughout the game, you can go up and go down, but this will not reduce the range you can go. So you can apply that. there's class-specific ones and player-specific ones. Like Irene has this one here, where activate a hero triggers random buff while heroes activate if you rescue a civilian. Increases your speed, crit, all that stuff. Pretty self-explanatory. Here's your wind stuff. It's like, here, boost your wind. Here is your battle mage. This will increase stats good for a battle mage. And so there's all sorts of different stuff. So with Sion, I think he's the one that has the most. Let's see. So he is a... no, he's a black mage. He's a lightning type. I think... Let's see. He has, like, access to a lot of different ones. Let's see. Actually, we gotta click on his stuff. It takes a while, but the game is really slow, so it might be better. I don't know. So... each character in class has their own kind of makeup of kind of your passives you could sort out. So with this will be like, here's your common ones. Everybody can use common. Here's your lightning ones. Only people that have a lightning affinity can use these. Here's your elements who are attuned to the elements. So literally everybody except for Hexing can't because he's not attuned to the elements. So these, landing a crit decreases the target's vigor by 10% and stuff like that. But he's also a black mage, so hey, he gets stuff like this. They all sort by like attack, defense, support, ability boosting, and basic stuff. Then this split slot here is like, I guess they're kind of like perks, but these are like, hey, these if you get these on you right now, you get crit chances increased, by 2% per enemy within your line of sight, stuff like that. And of course, there's hidden ones too. I mean, if you really wanted to, you can just Google this stuff up. Pressing Shift Tab and then going through the guides. It's pretty easy to see all that stuff. A lot of them say, hey, it's one of the ability traits you possess. So this is an ability trait. I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Yeah. Actually, maybe it's probably one of these. And so you can look that up. It's not that hard. But it takes a little bit to get into, but it's just like, hey, it's not that bad. But each character has their own little passives too. So this guy is in Cheerful. Increases your SP, which is I totally forgot to mention too in that 30-minute video of like, over time you generate SP, which is special points, which allows you to do your ultimate when you're in your overcharged state. For 2 turns, your abilities don't cost any vigor, or you burn your ultimate, which does a shit ton of damage. And you can have different ultimates. So here's your ability to change your abilities. Each depending on the class, you're gonna have different ones. So because I'm a black mage, I have access to 2 different supers. One's just a flash cannon, which is just like just a beam, like giant beam that's just destructive beam. And here's just an AoE destructive area. This one doesn't seem to be applied to aim, so this one's actually pretty good. But of course, you can have different ones. So like, hey, let's not do the the chain lightning here, and let's do this one. It tells you how much it will cost. There's also a cooldown tied to everything. One cooldown is 1 cycle of your character. So if you use it once, then next time if it has one cooldown, next time you get it. So Civic's pretty self-explanatory. You understand it pretty fast if you just dive into it or have any knowledge of just kind of basic RPG stuff. In terms of equipment, it's pretty straightforward stuff. You got your weapon, your chest piece, armor, then an accessory and boots, and then 2 items that you can hold on. Weapons depend on actually your class too. So Irene, can be a kind of she can be a martial artist, which is more of a physical based character, or a battle mage, which is a more range based character. But if you go melee, you're gonna have to switch weapons. You want something that increases your attack power, but not increase your ESP, because most of your spells are gonna be based on your attack power. So like right here, this is based off 125% of your attack power. Yeah, it's more based on your attack power too. But that, yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. It is a little bit slow. There's also kind of crafting too, which I have not even touched. Yeah. Okay, let's give this guy an advance. Let's do sweeper, I guess. Yeah. Change class. You can change class anytime you want, but of course it does cost training manuals, but you get a shit ton overall over time. Motivation here. This is kind of as you start to get more, you start to take damage. If you get out of action or you come back severely injured, you will kind of lose kind of motivation, and I think that reflects, but it's super easy to get motivation back. So you just go here to Don, the bartender, and pretty much just talk to him, place order, and then you can just do today's recommendation, and your motivation will increase by, a shit ton. And it's also really cheap. So it's just numbers go up. You want those numbers to go up. In terms of failing a mission overall, there's no way to reset it. You kind of abandon it and then reset at the checkpoint. That does hurt your motivation. There is just no reset mission. But you can replay missions in the material index? No. Case records. That's what it is. Case records. So this allows you to play different chapters. Standard mode is pretty easy, while challenge mode just boosts everything up to your level. So this one is a level 3, but if I hit challenge mode, now everybody's going to be level 20. It's just more of a challenge. I don't think you actually get anything more. So yeah, I'm only kind of halfway through the game, or I'm done with chapter 3, and there seems to be a lot more. And they say this was a first season, so there's a lot of stuff. I'm kind of just keeps on going back to some of this stuff since I'm so good at making videos. Again, the masteries, you can craft any mastery you want. What means that you have it. So you get your name, the amount of points it is required to slot it in, and then how many you have. So I have 27 of this body training. Grades, this means that you do not have it. You can craft them. Crafting in this is actually kind of easy than I thought it would be. So let's see. Ooh, I got some ice bolt stuff, which I do not need. Okay, let's. Some of this stuff can be pretty crazy and overwhelming. So now that Hexing is a sweeper class, he has access to sweeper class masteries. Do I have any right here? I have this weapon disability. Wow. Okay. Attacking a target using piercing attacks grants the target 50% chance to trigger destroy weapon. With the destroy weapon, decreases their hit by 5% per level. Blah blah blah. So I don't have that with me, but if you go to master crafting, motherfucker, I guess I can't make it. Let's try another one. Let's try gunman. Okay, so let's see. Zeroing increases your range attacks. Okay, I don't have this, so we're gonna craft this. So we'll be in my. I don't have room for it. Okay, let's fix firing. Okay, let's do armor piercing bullets. So striking a machine or heavily armored target adversary while shooting blah blah blah. And then actually, let's do this one right here. So, God, motherfucker, where's one that I don't have? Let's just craft this one. We're gonna craft the armor because I can't equip it because I don't have a slot. I don't have enough room for it. So we're just gonna go, boom, craft it. So you need to have main research. So I have the blunt resistance, piercing resistance, and slashing resistance. All of them need. Though you can make these if you need to. So say if I only had 0 slashing resistance, I can click this. There we go. And then I can create that. And then if I don't have slashing resistance 2, we can click that. And then if I don't have this, we can click that. And we can just keep on going down the rabbit hole and, see where you can make that. And then there's, of course, a breadcrumbs up here. So, fast forward here. So we have the main research. What does that mean? That means that those are the ones that you have to have. Additional mastery means, okay, so you need to have at least, you can have 1 support and 4 defensive masteries here to fill out your things. As you get down the road, you're going to start accumulating so many masteries, so you can easily press auto select, and then there you go. So we're going to craft this. Boom. Now we have it. And we can make that again if we had some slashing resistance. So we'll make another one here. Boom. Research. Boom. Let's go back here. Auto research. Boom. It seems a little bit overwhelming, but you just need to understand that you need to have the main research materials. Sometimes they're going to be locked behind other kind of things. What was it? The gunman? No, sweeper. Right here, like, again, like this will be locked behind. You just haven't been able to craft this. And sometimes they're just, that. I think that's a lot of kind of the overarching game. So after the end of every mission, you get loot. You can go here to your antique dealer and then just identify it. You do need to go down the different kind of, here's your weapons, here's your armor, identify that, and then kind of accessories. Yeah. And then from there, you can go into your roster, and then it's like, okay. Or you could just straight up go to your inventory, which is, nope. Inventory right here, and just see, like, okay, so this guy can use that. Anybody can use... I don't have a character that can use these weapons, so these are useless. And then you can also buy weapons from this character, which I have been. Later on through the mission, later on in the game, he actually says, hey, I got something for you. You can just go to another location called Shooter Street. Now, this is the social hub area. This is 100% online. The game says, hey, do you want to go online or offline? You can go offline, but your experience will be, like, diminished a little bit. This game has a lot of online hooks. Throughout the game, you'll encounter different options to choose, like, hey, do you want to assist this guy or that guy? Do you want to come in from the north or south? How many units do you want to support you? Which units do you want to support? Such as that. And there's always a, hey, 75% of the people voted for going north, while 25% of the people voted for going south. And it doesn't really have any bearing on the game, but it is kind of interesting. So this is the online kind of social hub. From here, there's actually an armor vendor, a weapon vendor, and accessory vendor, and a Sidestone vendor, which is a kind of a crafting bullshit. But there's items are by level 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, such and 30. I think the highest levels I saw 30. And vendors change every hour. The more money... These right here, I have fucking no idea what they are. I mean, it says right there, but it's just like... don't care. So... sometimes you won't get an upgrade, sometimes it's not. Like, so it resets every hour. So this will... The items here will reset every... will reset in 16 minutes and you'll get different items. So maybe I'll get an item that's, an upgrade. But yeah, this is a really fucking cool game, and I think people should check it out. It's really fun if you're like into that XCOM games. You can buy potions here too. So greater super concentration increases your hit chance. Okay, cool. Endurance, block chance. Okay, cool. I don't use those, but you can. You can also even launch missions from this area too. So, we got to do this mission right here to progress the story. Other than that, this game is pretty fun. It is... I think it's... what is it? It's like... I'm pretty sure it's $25 or $30. Yeah, it's $25. It's a really good game. I think the only problems I have is just maybe it's really slow and then just like kind of runs like shit. Like it's not like some gorgeous looking game. Like you look at these blocks of buildings, but you know, I think I'm only getting maybe crap. What's my frame rate right now? Oh, it's 85. But sometimes it could drop down. I do recommend if you're having kind of graphics problems, just bump down the shadows. You can see they just look like crap. Shadows are probably the more intensive things when it comes to video games. But this is Troubleshooter Abandoned Children. This is a 2-part video. I've been talking pretty much nonstop for about, 20 minutes and just trying to say, hey, this is a really fucking cool game. It's constantly updated on a regular basis. They add new masteries throughout the day, or not throughout the day, practically through every patch, which is kind of cool. The developers seem to be really kind of gunning and really doing a supportive job for this, and of course they said this is like the first season. I don't know what that means in terms of content, but you're gonna play a shit ton of this game. Even though it's $25, I've already dumped like 15 hours, and it's been really fun playing the game. Again, the only problem I have is it is a little bit slow, just because it's just like, a lot of dialogue is going on that you have to click through. Though some of it skips, the story isn't that interesting, so you can just skip everything and probably, just have fun with it. But there's some stuff that I didn't go over, like crafting. I don't even want to touch that. That shit is just like super fucking convoluted, and not necessary there because, again, all your loot is at level 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it's if it was like, hey, you level up once, you can get a new item. It's like, no, you got to level up a few more levels to get new items. And like, it doesn't seem to be that much of a difference in terms of items. A level 20 green is just as good as a level 15 blue. So it's just like, well, Win 50 level has reached 100, so I assume this is a server-wide thing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, these 2 videos. I'll put them out. This will be the second one, and they'll both be out. Maybe I'll put a link into both. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.